Hello everybody, Bubbles Zest here, and this is Hearts of Iron 4. As some of you may know, a few months ago I looked back at my old Crusader Kings II guide and learnt that it no longer works. And so in today's video we're going to be doing Crusader Kings II again, but with a method that actually works in current Hearts of Iron 4. So let's get started. We're going to do Seaward Defence Force and begin. May as well go over our starting research. We're currently getting civilian trains because for some reason South Africa doesn't start with them, and early submarine hulls. Once we have these, we're going to move on to 36 sub-hulls. Apart from that, it's standard electronics industry and so on. It is annoying that South Africa only starts with 2 research slots, but we'll make it work. And by the way, here's our construction tab. It's just going to be military factories. Now that we have a dockyard, it's time for some convoy spam. And to abandon Westminster. We now have 150 political power, and you know what that means? Yep, it's silent workhorse time. Next up, we're going to empower the workers. We currently need more political power, so for the moment we're not going to be doing a focus. There we go, we can now hire ourselves the Communist Revolutionary. However, we're going to have to wait until communist support reaches 10% before we can do our next focus. There we go, we can now repeal the Native Representation Act. And for no reason whatsoever, we're going to prepare for civil war. Anyway, now that we have 36 sub-hulls, it's time for some sub-spam. And I know what you're going to say, Bubbles, sub-spam has been nerfed. And that's true, it has been. The fact of the matter is though, subs are still very cheap, and we can't afford much more, so sub-spam it is. So, we need our stability to go under 50%, so we're going to have to do expand civil support. Now, we could do another expand civil support, which will take us under 50% stability, or we can commandeer civilian trains, which will take away another 5 stability. And I think that's the better option. It saves us a tiny bit of political power too, even better. There we go. It's now time to ignite the Civil War. I already deleted all my units, this is going to be easy. We're just going to train up a few district brigades, deploy them, and walk into Cape Town. Anyway, for focus right now, we're going to work our way down to expand Simon's town base. Anyway, now that we're free, it's time for us to do some justifications. The first one is going to be on Spain. Let's go for Murcia. And the second one is going to be on Oman. Luckily, just had enough political power to do those. Be careful on what state you justify on. If Spain loses control of this state, our justification will cancel. So make sure you justify on a safe state. Murcia is one of them, but so is Valencia and Madrid. It's done. South Africa is free. Nice. 100 PP? Good. Let's hire ourselves the army maneuver expert. Get that XP coming in. We might be justifying on them, but now is the time for us to support Spain. I know, we're very, very two-faced. We have 3 options on how to help Spain, but there's only one that's worth doing, and that's the middle one. Yes, it does take away 5,000 manpower, but when the Spanish Civil War ends, we will get a very nice reward. Anyway, now it's time for us to do equal opportunity employment. We have another 150 political power, so that means we're going to go up to limited. And now it's time for us to make a new template. So district force, we're going to make it a 20 width. There we go, let's save it. We're going to train up 6 of these and convert our remaining divisions over to it. There we go, our justification on Spain is ready. Let's immediately use it. And of course get military access from the nationalists. Thank you. So, for our next few focuses, we're going to be doing South African railways, expanding the mining industry, and infrastructure efforts. So, we have 68 political power, so it's time for another justification. This time, it's going to be on the Dutch East Indies. 335 days. Okay. You may as well use the Spanish Civil War for grinding. Look at that, so much XP is coming in. I was hoping to get some war score so I could take Republican Spain's navy, but they have no navy. If in your game they do, you may as well take whatever ships you can get. Okay, our justification on Oman is ready. Also, we're going to immediately use it. Don't worry, they only have one division. They can't do anything. Alright, as you can probably assume, the next part of the plan is going to be naval invading the Netherlands. Now, here's something important. You have to plan your naval invasion of the Dutch before Republican Spain falls. If they fall, you cannot plan the invasion. So, let's do it. We're going to have 4 units directly go to Rotterdam. Taking Rotterdam will be the hardest part of this invasion, so it needs quite a few units. And then we'll have 2 naval invasions with 2 units supporting each side. For the remaining 2 units, one will go to this tile, and the other will go to this port. The Dutch normally don't defend this port, so if we can get this port, it will make our lives a hell of a lot easier. There we go. Anyway, Germany has just done Anschluss, which means it's time for Lend-Lease. I've already improved relations with them, so Germany, hand it over. But there's also another country we can get Lend-Lease from, and that's France. Because of Leon Bloom's traits, he can Lend-Lease us when tension is over 30%. So Bloom, what do you have? Nice. Anyway, for our next focuses, it's going to be South African steel and armament efforts. Remember, also refresh your Lend-Lease every month, so you get the maximum amount of equipment. There we go, that's another 3,000. Okay, it's time for us to shift around our production. We don't need to be building so many guns, but what we do need to be building is artillery. So we're going to do this. We can pretty much get all of the guns we need via Lend-Lease, but artillery is something we need to build ourselves. So, our next few focuses will be Ram Mines, University of South Africa, and Pretoria Arms. And here's our reward. The volunteers from the Spanish Civil War have returned, and with them comes a very nice national spirit. Veterans of the Spanish Civil War. Division Org plus 5%. Hey, I'll happily trade 5,000 manpower for an extra 5% Org. Pretty nice. And it's permanent too. It doesn't go away. Right, justification is ready. Let's go. Luckily, getting supremacy is easy. The Dutch normally don't even use their navy. Okay, force attack. Rotterdam is defended. Good, made landfall. And got the port. Right, let's push. We're going to try and link up with these divisions down here, so we have to get to Breda. But something we must do is to defend the port. We cannot afford to lose the port. There we go, made it. Now Rotterdam is encircled with 2 divisions in it. 4 then. Still though, breaking it shouldn't be too hard. 2 divisions left, come on. Nice. So, you can probably assume what we're going to do next. And that is puppet the Dutch East Indies, resource rights, and war reps. But we're also going to do the same to Suriname and Curaçao. However, something we're not going to do is take anything from the continental Netherlands. We want Germany to have an easy time going through the Benelux, so there's no point doing anything. What we are going to do is take the Dutch Navy. Oh, and what do you know, the Dutch East Indies also had one. Nice. There we go. We have 3 puppets, South African East Indies, Suriname and Curaçao. This also gives us the achievement, I am the Tongue Master. Great. So, time for the next stage of the plan. Disband the army, recruit and deploy, division designer, copy, artillery, and artillery. 21 width, nice. We want 80 of these divisions. And as you can see, we don't have that much equipment, but that's okay. Lend-Lease can make up the difference. Now that Germany has done Sudetenland, an important threshold has just been crossed. Normally, we can't Lend-Lease non-aligned countries because they require at least 40% tension, and we're well beyond that now. So that means we can get Lend-Lease from countries like Poland, Turkey, Finland, so we may as well. I've also improved relations with countries like Hungary because they have some equipment. You know, who needs industrial capacity when you have Lend-Lease? All you have to do is ask nicely and you get so much equipment. Oh yeah, here's an important tip. If you want your subs to keep deploying, here's what you have to do. Just delete a division, there you go, we have some manpower, and the sub deploys. And just train up another division to replace it. Another pair of countries you can improve relations with are Iraq, Iran and Afghanistan. They also have some equipment to give you. So, might as well get it. Yeah, believe it or not, asking nicely is one of Hoi4's most overpowered strats. Look at it, so much stuff for basically nothing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not much, but okay. What do you know? More Lend-Lease. So, here is our first 13 divisions. Let's break off 3. There we go. These 10 are part of the next plan, which is to plan a naval invasion to Oman. Specifically, we're going to this tile. Unfortunately, we can't get enough naval range to naval invade Muscat directly, so this tile will have to do. By the way, don't forget to break off a sub and send it over so you can actually get the supremacy. Otherwise, you'll never be able to naval invade. For the remaining 3, we're going to break them up, there we go, and put them in a field marshal order, and send them to South Africa. Something interesting we're going to do is actually deploy our colonial templates in South Africa. There you go, for some reason we can do that. And there you go, all future divisions will deploy to the fallback line. Perfect. So, what should we do for our next focus? I know, burning the king's portraits. I don't know why we still have portraits of the king several years after gaining independence, but whatever, they must burn. Look at that, our gun problem has pretty much been solved. However, we're going to create another big deficit so we can get even more Lend-Lease. You know, it's better to have a stockpile. Okay, Germany has just eaten Czechoslovakia, so let's see if we can't get some Czech equipment. Okay, wait an hour or so. Come on, I know you have some, Germany. Okay, nice. And now we're going to do the War Measures Act. With that, I think we're ready to naval invade Oman. If we can get one more Lend-Lease, why not? I'll do it. Luckily, Oman's single division should be pretty easy to push out of the way. Although I am going to make sure I encircle Muscat. Never mind, they just attacked us, making our life a hell of a lot easier. Just pushed out of the way. And done. Of course, puppet, resource rights, reps. Finally, at peace again. Alright, we now have all of the divisions we need, so time to put them into position. These 8 units will be defending our port. I don't expect us to get naval invaded, but better safe than sorry. These 24 divisions will be defending our border. We're not going to defend the Caprivi Strip, there's no reason to. Something like this will do. For the remaining 48 divisions, we're going to send them to Europe so we can invade the United Kingdom. The thing is though, if we sent these guys in wartime, they would almost certainly get convoy raided. So it's better for us if we send them now. Now where can we send them? We could send them to Spain, but I have a better idea. We have military access from the Soviet Union, so we're going to send our divisions all the way over there. I don't think they can get convoy raided all the way in the Soviet Union, so they should be safe. So, in the end, we got 34,000 guns from Lend-Lease. Nice! Anyway, it's time for us to declare our Anti Colonialist Crusade. You know what, since we have so much equipment, I think we can change around our construction. Let's just build some dockyards. Just as the war begins, we go up to war economy. At this point, you can pretty much do any focus you want. Just make sure you've done Union of the African People at some point. It is required for the achievement. Personally though, I am going to do Special Service Battalion. And as Germany goes off the Benelux, it's now time for us to justify on France. Specifically, we're going to justify for French Guiana. Just like the old days. Right, Germany is at the gates of Paris, but our justification is ready. Let's go. Immediately though, we must get a justification going on Portugal. Their colonies are included in the achievement. Anyway, let's get military access from Germany, Italy and Slovakia. Time to move in and plan the naval invasion. The naval invasion is going to be the classic 5 naval invasions around Newcastle and Hull. We've done it many a time, we know it works. Right, let's move in. Germany's sending us an invite to the Axis. Join if you want, I don't think it's that important. Although we're currently stuck in a little bit of a love triangle, because Stalin wants us too. I think I'm going to go with the Union of the African People. Right, let's move the fleet to Wilhelmshaven. I had the fleet in Stalingrad for safety. You know, don't want it to go through the English Channel. Imagine being at the German-Soviet border right now, watching as loads of Indonesian South African divisions just waltz on by. It'd be a very surreal sight. Right, let's activate our naval invasions. And strike force. Unsurprisingly, not enough supremacy. This is the sub-spam nerf. Getting supremacy with just subs is a lot harder than it used to be. But even then, even when it did work, we did have to hope that the AI would be stupid and give us a blip of supremacy. And I don't think that has really changed. And there we go, we've got the blip of supremacy. Nice and quick. And they left Hull empty. Nice. Right, let's send the army in. As usual, the way to deal with the UK is to cut them up, confuse the AI, you know the drill, we've done it many times. But you know what, since we're going on a little bit of a nostalgia trip, let's encircle London. I know, London war score farming has been nerfed, but fancy doing it, so why not? And there we go, London is encircled, let's destroy this unit. So, we now have 19% of the war score. Pretty good. That's already more than Italy. You know what? I'm going to experiment with something. We're currently getting a lot of oil from our puppets. And I think we could use that to get some extra war score. So I'm going to send Germany all of my oil. 100% of the production. And since Germany might run out of convoys, I'm also going to send them 100% of my convoy production. Who knows, if this can give us extra war score, why not? Okay, justification on Portugal is ready. Let's go. And now we can make a proper front line down here. We just need to walk into Angola a little bit and attack some of Portugal's divisions, so they're in the peace deal. That's all we need, Portugal to be in the peace deal. Right, we now have 28% of the war score, and 21 of that came from Lend-Lease. So I guess it does work, but it doesn't give us that much. But hey, if you want to do it, I don't think it would be that bad. I don't think there's any chance of us getting more war score than Germany. Especially when you consider that quite a lot of their war score is somehow coming from destroying enemy planes. Which makes sense. Oh well, let's capitulate the UK. Just one thing though, if you want the achievement Rule Britannia, just make sure, before the UK capitulates, you control all of the UK states, and you should get the achievement. Alright, we have a lot to do in this peace deal. First things first, Africa. Despite what the achievement says, you don't need all of Africa. All you need to take is Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, the Congo, and Kenya. And yes, take them. Do not, under any circumstances, puppet them. You must take the states directly. You know what, let's see how much of Africa we can get as well while we're here. Now, the second thing we must do is puppet the UK. The achievement requires us to have a faction member control London. So if you must prioritise anything, control London at all costs. But I think we can get all of the UK. We have enough war score for it. No, Germany, you're getting nothing. However, once you've secured all of these, you can do whatever. There's nothing else that needs to be done in the peace deal on your end. So if you want to make some puppets, take some navies, whatever, go ahead. Right, let's see what mess we've made. I got 82 states, Germany got 69, Italy got 23. And you know what? It doesn't actually look that bad. Yeah, the Raj has been slightly partitioned, and so has Australia, but it doesn't look too bad. Although South African Australia is not a name I expected to see today. But at this point, we have everything we need for Crusader Kings II. All we have to do is release Angola, Mozambique, Congo, Kenya, Zimbabwe via Anti Colonialist Crusade. These are the decisions we need to do. However, I don't feel like doing them. I've done it a few times, you know what it looks like, you don't need to see me do them. There's one thing you need to know though. When the 180 days is up and you get the event, Freedom for Angola, Mozambique, whatever, you can choose whether or not to puppet them or let them be independent. I would recommend puppeting them, but that is entirely your choice. Anyway, before we finish up, there is one more thing we can do, and that is to recreate the Zimbabwean Empire. We are now the Mutapa Socialist State. You know what? This revisit of Crusader Kings II has been pretty fun, and I realised not much has changed, because we did things like Lend-Lease and sub-spam in the old guide. The thing is though, the specific why and how has definitely changed. We didn't used to do things like getting Lend-Lease from non-aligned countries, you know. It's those small little differences that make a big difference. You know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So, until next time everybody, I thank you for watching, I do hope you've enjoyed it. And you know what? If there are any more old guides you want me to redo, do let me know, because I'm sure quite a few of them are out of date, bad, or whatever. As long as there's potential for the achievement to still work in current Hearts of Iron 4, I think it could be worth doing a few more of these. However, until we meet again, from me, Bubbles Zest, goodbye.